you want to make money trading volatility indices, boom and crash, and even currencies, today I've got the perfect indicator for you because the MACD strategy works on all those, right? So on the MACD strategy, we're going to be talking about how we determine the trend. We're also going to be talking about divergence, and I'm going to show you how you are going to be entering, right? So let me just show you how we set this up first before we go and how all those methods, right? So let me just delete everything so that we start all together, right? So we press our indicators, of course. Then after pressing the indicators, click here on main chart. Then first we want to insert the MACD. Then I'm just using the default settings, right? So you don't have to change anything, right? You can just click set default over here if you had changed for, right? Then click done. After clicking done, then I don't like my chart looking just like this, right? I want my entries to be very clear, especially for you guys who are not yet used on how you enter using this strategy, right? I'm going to be inserting another indicator. I'm going to be setting the moving average on top of that, right? So what do you have to do to insert the moving average on top of the MACD? You have to press here on this F on the where it says indicator window. Don't press main chart, press indicator window, right? Then on that, we're going to set that to these parameters, right? So the period is going to be 1, shift 0, method exponential, apply to first indicator data. Take note of the apply to. You can select first indicator data or previous indicator data. Just works the same, but just select first indicator data for you this to be uniform, right? So that you don't confuse yourself, right? So after selecting that, you can now set up you can now click done and go to our charts, right? So I'm going to click done, right? So you can take a screenshot of this so that you don't forget, and you will be able to insert this after you finish watching this video. If you want this strategy to help you, I advise you to watch till the end, because each and every concept that I'm going to be sharing in that order will help you in order to make more money, right? So before we go further, right, if you like this video, if you like the content that I'm sharing, give it a like and comment, right? Because it will help the YouTube algorithm push this video to more people, so that this video can help more people, right? So, and it also gives me the morale, the appreciation, so that I keep on creating more videos, right? So it just inspires me to keep on helping you guys, right? Now that we've set up everything up, right, so how do we determine the trend using using this indicator, right? So we're going to be taking note of this this 00 level over here. That's what I want you to notice first. So how do you determine this? How do you determine if the trend is is in an uptrend, a downtrend, or if it's consolidating? So here on our 0 level, so if the MACD histogram, these small bars, right? So let me just zoom in so that you can see the bar. So if these small bars over here, right, as you can see these bars, if they are above the level 0, above the level 0, it shows that market is going up, it's in an uptrend. So for this example, I've got our 0 level over here, and our histogram is above the level 0, it's an uptrend, and as you can see, we are trending we are trending up. Then for a downtrend, let me just check for a downtrend. But it's just the same, right? But yeah, I've got an example over here. Our 0 level is over here, and our MACD is below the level 0, which shows that it's in a downtrend, right? So it's very simple. So that's what we're going to be determining. What our trend is. There a consolidating market over here that I can show you, right? But I don't think so. But if you come across that example, I'll share it with you, right, so that you know what it looks like when the market is consolidating. But who doesn't know how to see if the market is consolidating? Are you blind? You have to be blind in order not to see if the market is consolidating or not, right? So I'm just joking. Now that we've learned how to determine the trend, I'm going to talk about divergence, right? So what is divergence, right? So divergence is when the main chart is showing another trend, and the indicator window is showing another trend, right? So we've got the perfect example over here. So right over here, right, as you can see, the market is creating it created a higher high, right? Then it reversed, and over here the market created a lower low. So this is divergence over here. So this is called regular divergence, and there's also what is called hidden divergence. Let me see if there's an example over here, right? So that's a divergence again, right? But it's still regular divergence. I want to see where there is hidden divergence, so that I can show you a typical example of what it looks like, right? But I'm not able to see any over here, right? So right over here we've got something like that example, right? So right over here, right, as you can see, the indicator window is creating a higher high right over here. It created a higher high, and the main chart created a lower low, right? So this is hidden divergence, because it's this is not a proper trend line on our that we draw on our indicator window. So this is hidden divergence, right? So what do you have to know on hidden divergence? On hidden divergence, since this isn't a trend, this is not a trend line, so you follow the trend of the proper trend line, right? So you follow the trend of the main chart over here, right? So the main chart is showing a downtrend, right? So that's where you enter. And then for regular divergence, you just follow it shows that the market might reverse in the direction of might reverse in the direction that is being shown by the indicator window. So right over here we sell, right? So we don't have to enter using divergence, because it's not that reliable, and it doesn't work all the time, right? So I'm not using divergence for my entries in this video. But maybe if you want to exit, I can encourage you to use it on your entries. So let's say you're in your buy over here, you're holding your buy, maybe you entered over here, but when you spot this divergence over here, I would encourage you to exit, right? But I wouldn't encourage you to enter for that sale fail because divergence doesn't work all the time. It doesn't work. Just like no strategy works all the time, but with divergence it's another thing, right? So it's another thing, right? So divergence takes time for you to spot, right? Like over here. But once you get the hang of it, it's easier for you to spot it, right? So now we've talked about the trend. Now let's talk about what entries. How do we enter, right? So now the best part, right? The magic of this strategy. That's the whole part that everyone has been waiting for. So on our entries, right? So we'll be only entering in the direction of the trend, right? So if the market is in an uptrend, we're only going to be looking forward for our buy setups. And if the market is in a downtrend, we're only going to be looking forward for our sell setups. So what do we have to do over here, right? So as you can see right over here, the MACD is above level 0. It shows that the market is in an uptrend. So we're only going to be looking forward for our buy setups, right? So let me just zoom in so that you can see. So how do we enter, right? We're only going to be entering when the red and the black moving out, it's the moving average and the MACD line, right? Signal line. When they cross, that's when you're going to be entering, right? So right over here, we enter over here, right? We also enter over here. Right over here again, we also have an entry, right? Because it's still what the MACD is still above the level 0, right? So that's about somewhere over here. So you can see right here, let me just give you this example over here. When the MACD crosses over here, we don't enter because it crossed below the level 0, right? We want it to cross above the level 0. That's when we are going to be taking our entries, and as you can see, we'll be in good profits, right? So even if you take this for example, so here we don't enter, but even though it does work, but with forex I believe that you have to have a set of principles that you have to follow. Even if it means you have to miss out on other opportunities, right? But you just have to respect your principles, follow your principles, so that it's easier for you to make money. If you don't have principles, if you don't have a set of rules for yourself, it will be hard for you to control your emotions. It will also be hard for you to make money in the forex market, right? And for each and every strategy, there's no perfect strategy, right? So let me just show you right over here. So most probably would have entered over here, would have entered for our buys over here, right? Most probably, but because no strategy is perfect, right? And as you can see, our stop loss would have been hit, right? But what would have made me not to enter this trades, right? And as I've mentioned before, it's divergence, right? So as you can see right over here, the market is creating what the indicator window is creating a series of lower lows, but the market is creating a series of what high highs. So this shows that there's divergence. That's going to show that the market can reverse it to any moment, going to the downside, right? So I don't enter my buys over there because there's divergence, right? So that's the other use of divergence, right? That's the use of divergence. That's where you can use it, not for your entries, right? So it can help you to limit the trades that you take, right? So that it can help you monitor all your trades, right? So that's it for the buy setup, right? Let me just check for the sell setup, but it's just the same thing. It's just one and the same thing, right? So for our sell setups, we've got an example over here, though it's just one entry, right? We enter over here, because the histogram is below the level 0, and our MACD, black moving average and the red cross below the MACD level 0. So we take our entries over there. Right over here could have been another entry over here, though our stop loss would have hit, right? But if you notice something, whenever our stop loss gets hit, there's always divergence, right? Like check for this example over here. There's always divergence. Look at this example over here. There's divergence over here, right? So you have to take note of divergence. Whenever you spot divergence, avoid taking your entries. And if you are already in a trade, just better to exit. And as you can see over here, right, those are other sell setups over there, right? So if you like this video, like, subscribe, and share. I would really appreciate if you've got any misunderstanding, just comment in the comment section down below. And if this video has helped you in any kind of way, then like it and leave a comment. That's much appreciated for you guys, right? So that's it for this video, guys.